Hello everyone, welcome back to Baldur's Gate 3 Overexplained.
Can I go?
Last time we came here to the gates of the Druid's Grove and helped prevent an assault of goblins against the druids and tieflings here.
Don't waste
Now,
a step.
we gained enough XP in that fight to level up to level 3,
Moving in.
but what I'm going to do first is I'm going to show you where you can find the other two playable heroes, the wizard and the warlock, and then back in camp where everyone will hopefully be residing at that moment, we can go over
Easy path.
everybody's leveling. Now I've got myself turned around here. Where is Gale hiding? Just over here.
The ready.
This ancient rune circle is where you can find Gale, the wizard.
You're alive. That's unexpected. Last I saw you, you were lying in a crucible's worth of blood. An intellect devourer nibbling at your ear. Glad to see my eyes deceive me. I'm Gale. Well met.
Well met. You were on the ship as well, I presume.
The very same. A traumatizing experience, if an instructive one.
Instructive, what makes you say that?
Nautiloids are incredibly rare vessels, a mind flayer colony's most guarded secret, and a gift pack's greatest prize.
This one knows what he's talking about.
Not to mention, you're staring at me like a Rashimi at a blackboard. You're no wizard, are you?
No, I'm a sorcerer.
There's a gust of weave about you, but it's a mere breeze. I need a tempest. It'll have to wait. The primary need is a healer. I take it you recall the insertion of the parasite?
Yeah, it was horrific.
Are you aware that after a period of excruciating gestation, it'll turn us into mind flayers? A process known as ceremorphosis? It is to be avoided. I assume you're no accomplished healer either. Powerful cleric, maybe?
I cannot say that I am.
Then we'll have to find one. And fast. You and I are in a whole lot of trouble. We need help, and I'm not sure where we'll find it in this wilderness. How about we embark on the quest for a healer together?
That sounds like a great plan.
And I'm flattered, I'm sure. But it seems you're traveling with a substantial amount of companions already. Maybe later, yes?
So the party maximum is 4, and Gale has now gone off on a walk. I presume he will be at camp when we go back there in a little while.
If not over, then through.
So we'll leave him to walk off into the distance and blink out of the plane of existence.
Another step forward.
And now we can go back to the Druid's Grove, in which we will find the final recruitable member of the party. And that is Will, who helped us whilst we were being attacked at the Druid Gates. So we can send our party back over to this set of gates here, and they will open for us now that we have helped stop the assault. These kind folks up on the wall will lift this for us automatically as we approach. And we can head on in.
Swift as my feet can carry me.
So there's a few confrontations here relating to the plot surrounding the attack that just happened. So we'll do those, and then we'll go find the last member we can recruit.
There are children here, you fool!
We was running for our lives.
You led them straight to us, and you let them take the druid too? Unbelievable!
One fight just ended. Now you're picking another? Relax.
Tell that to the dead at the gate.
Shut it, Horns! I'd be lying dead next to the goblins if you'd stalled any longer.
My duty is to this camp.
Oh, God forbid you risk your precious tail. But I shouldn't be surprised. Full-bloods ain't known for courage.
You see the tiefling's jaw clench. He's about to erupt.
So we succeeded on an insight check there. I think we can talk them down from this. We don't need more violence. And we cannot get guidance. I guess Shadowheart is too far away from us at the moment. But with +3 and +2 to a 16, we're going to be okay.
You're right. There's too much at stake.
Worried about your precious hides, the both of you.
Enough! Squabbling is pointless. The goblins have found us.
At least we agree on that.
So, they've had their spat.
Moving ahead.
Time to pack. We need to leave.
We can now move on in. The Druid's Grove kind of exists in two large sections. Towards the left, you have not goblins, you have tieflings and some other minor characters. And then after you go down this path and down the staircase there, everything else is mostly druids. So it's kind of in two halves that can become very important later in certain plot lines. As we just take an autosave. Here is Aaron, the main trader of the area. If you have anything you would like to sell, you can pass it off to him. But for now, we're going to skip that minutia and come over here and find Will. So Will is a human warlock. It currently says he's level 2, but I do believe when we recruit him and level him up, we will be able to set him up from level 1 as we desire. Also, he can die in the introductory sequence and mean that you won't be able to recruit him. That is a possibility. So if you want to recruit him, make sure you defend him as a priority above the others.
Look who's here.
Go on. Give me your best shot.
Not bad. Again. Hey, keep focus. See how I used your own force against you?
I can't do it.
Of course you can. It just takes time. I didn't become the Blade of Frontiers overnight.
Hey, can we have a word?
The man's smile bends downward, and his thoughts become yours. An unknown face commands your mind. Blue skin, gnarled horns. Chuck! He is infected.
I'll be damned to the hells. You were on the ship.
A strange sensation courses through you, and Will's mind unfolds, secrets half revealed.
So, throughout the course of the game, you will be presented with checks where you can utilize the tadpoles in your head and use their psionic powers to help you with certain skills and checks. But I'm not going to do that here. I will leave you to find out that plot on your own time. Instead, we're just going to say that we were on the ship and we would like to recruit you, sir.
Keep at it, kid. Listen, I've been having the strangest dreams since the crash. I haven't turned into a mind flayer just yet, but sooner or later, my luck will run out. Been thinking I need a healer, and I reckon you've been thinking the same.
Yeah, we hope someone in the Grove might be able to help.
I've been waiting for this druid Halcyon to return. They say he's pretty powerful. He could probably help us. Problem is, the goblins have nabbed him. We better go find him before we start growing talons and tentacles.
Come with me if you want.
Excellent idea, but I have a condition.
Go on.
Look at these kids. They've no chance on the road, not while goblins infest it. I've got the grandest of plans. You and me, we kill the goblin horde's leaders. That should scatter the buggers. Frontier justice, I call that. What say you?
I think we can do that.
I love your spirit, but you're full up. But when the time comes, just holler. The Blade of Frontiers will come calling.
Go to my camp and wait for me there.
A splendid plan. Let's chat there.
So, with Will and Gale recruited, we can now, rather than clicking up here to go to the camp and end the day, if we click the fast travel button just below it, we can just opt to teleport ourselves to the camp instead. And then while we're here, we can reorganize our party in any way we wish. So we'll start with the 4 heroes we have, and then we will drop 2 of them, pick the others up, level those up as well, and we can see everyone developing up to 3rd level. So let's start with our sorcerer here. So we go from 2 to 3. Our maximum hit points increase up to 20. We gain another sorcery point. I believe for the most part sorcery points are directly tied to how many levels you have. So if you're a level 6 sorcerer, you'll have 6 sorcery points and so on. We get to pick another kind of meta magic, but now we get to pick one that wasn't available necessarily to us earlier. So we can get Subtle Spell. You can cast spells while silenced. Heightened Spell. Targets of spells that require saving throws have disadvantage on their first saving throw. Or Extended Spell. Double the duration of conditions, summons and surfaces. And Careful Spell, or allies automatically succeed saving throws. Obviously we already have Twinned and Quicken. We already had Twinned and Distant, but we will take Quicken. Spells that take an action take a bonus action instead. So that's going to let us do even more damage inside of a single turn if we wish. Then we get to take 1 new spell, and the level 2 spells are now available to us because we are now level 3 and we have gained 2nd level spell slots. We should be able to see this here somewhere. No, but it's not. Doesn't say here, but we have gained a 4th 1st level spell slot and 2 2nd level spell slots, I believe. So now we can choose a 2nd level spell to take. And looking at our options, I think probably something like Shatter is going to be very good. Generate a painfully intense ringing noise that deals 3d8 thunder damage to creatures and objects. So this works in an area of effect as opposed to selecting a target, and rather than making an attack roll, they have to make a saving throw. So we'll pick that up, and we can also replace 1 spell that we have that we don't want anymore if we wish, but I'm happy with Chromatic Orb, Thunderwave, and Mage Armor. So with that done, we will click Accept. And you can now see there we have those 4 1st level spells and 2 2nd level spells. Now this does open up 1 extra opportunity for us, in that we still have those 1st level spells such as Chromatic Orb, but now there is a plus symbol in the top right corner. When we click that, we'll see a wide host of symbols, and you'll see here if we take the 2 Chromatic Orb of Thunders that we're used to, this first one is a 1st level evocation spell for 3d8 thunder damage, but we can upcast it and use a 2nd level spell if we wish, and that lets us cast it at 2nd level for 4d8 thunder damage. Then if we get a 3rd level spell slot, we could do 5d8 thunder damage and so on. So it lets us use our 2nd level spells. If we are completely out of our 1st level spell slots, we can still cast a spell with that extra slot, which is wonderful. So that's the Sorcerer Gothic Lord. Let's go to Shadowheart the Cleric. Our maximum hit points have increased. You see there we've also got new spell slots in 1st and 2nd level. and we have gained a new selection of spells. So Gothic Lord, being a sorcerer, has a set of spells that they can use each day, and that set doesn't change. Whereas druids, clerics, and to a certain extent wizards can select any of the spells that they have available to them each day. So Shadowheart now has these 8 second level spells. So Aid, Blindness, Enhance Ability, Hold Person, Lesser Restoration, Prayer of Healing, Protection from Poison, and Silence. But we can still only prepare 6 spells. But when we click Customize here, we can pull all of these out if we wish. And of course, at the start of any adventure, clerics can change their prepared spells. So we still might want Bless and Guiding Bolt, Healing Word, Inflict Wounds. But then rather than taking Cure Wounds, we could take Prayer of Healing instead. And something else for when we want to do more interesting things, perhaps a Hold Person. But each day we can change those spells, so you don't have to feel too much pressure about what you select at this point with a cleric. We also get some subclass features in our Trickery domain. So we get Mirror Image. This is a second level illusion spell, so we always have this prepared. It doesn't come under the prepared spells that we have to select, but we do still have to use a second level spell slot if we wish to cast it. The same is true for Pass Without Trace, a level 2 abjuration spell, Call Forth a Veil of Shadows, and Silence that gives you and all nearby companions plus 10 to your stealth checks. So those 2 spells will always be prepared. Lae'zel, our second level fighter, is going to become a 3rd level fighter.
Enough waiting. I crave blood.
And so we can now choose which subclass we would like to be. So with the Sorcerer and the Cleric, at level 1 we chose to be a Wild Magic Sorcerer as opposed to a Draconic Sorcerer, and Shadowheart is a Trickery Cleric as opposed to a Life Cleric or various other types of Cleric. That happens at level 1, but for a fighter they get other skills at levels 1 and 2, and now at level 3 they choose their subclass. So you have a choice between a Battle Master and an Eldritch Knight. More subclasses will be added to the game later in either early access or upon the full release, but these are the choices we have for now. So a Battle Master is a paragon of tactical superiority, combining combat maneuvers and experience to dominate the field in every fight. An Eldritch Knight study magic to supplement their weaponry, allowing them to overcome resistance from the toughest foes. So Eldritch Knights get spellcasting. They use their intelligence modifier for any kind of spellcasting, and at the moment 11 is not going to be very good. It's going to provide us with a +0 to all of our spell and our spell attacks, which is not going to be great. It's also going to provide us with a very low save DC when people are diving out of the way of burning hands and the like. So I'm going to take Battle Master, and with that we get to select 3 maneuvers. So we can take a menacing attack, spend a superiority die to deal 1d8 plus 3 plus 1d8 slashing damage and possibly frighten the target. So a superiority die is kind of the pool that funds our maneuvers. Like how the Sorcerer has sorcery points to use their meta magic, a Battle Master fighter has superiority die to use their maneuvers, and they come back when you take a short rest for the fighter. The numbers you're seeing here are 1d8 initially is the current weapon damage that we have equipped, plus 3 is our strength modifier for our attack, and then 1d8 on the end is the value of the battle superiority die that we are spending. So this one has a chance to frighten. We have a chance to push the target back. We can expend a superiority die to bolster the resolve of a friendly creature and give it 8 additional hit points. When a creature misses us with a melee attack, we can expend a superiority die to retaliate and deal 1d8 plus 3 plus 1d8 slashing damage. So this is a reaction rather than an attack. A trip attack will try and force the target to be prone. If we can manage to do that, and then our allies can attack them with melee attacks, they would do so with advantage, because you always attack a prone creature with a melee attack at advantage if you are within 5 feet, and if you are further away than 5 feet and you attack with a ranged attack, you do so at disadvantage if a creature is prone. Lastly, we have disarming attack. Spend a superiority die to deal 1d8 plus 3 plus 1d8 slashing damage and potentially force the target to drop the weapons they are holding. So, what do we want to select? I think we'll take Riposte. It's tricky to use reactions in the current system, but we'll show it off regardless. We have Thunder Wave with our Sorcerer, so I don't think we need to worry about pushing stuff. So we'll try for a Menacing attack. That shows the Menacing attack here. They have to make a Wisdom save. And let's take a Disarming attack. So we gain the Disarming attack melee and Disarming attack ranged actions. And we start with 4 superiority die, which are d8s. These fuel our Battlemaster maneuvers, and die expended when you use it. Regain the expended superiority die when we finish a short or a long rest. So that's going to be Lae'zel on 3rd level. Then Astarion here. He also gets to pick his subclass at 3rd level. We can choose an Arcane Trickster or a Thief. An Arcane Trickster gains spellcasting. You get the Mage Hand cantrip, but it is invisible, which is also very handy. And you get to pick some cantrips and some spells. Some of the spells must be from the Enchantment or Illusion schools of magic. And then you get to pick 1 standard spell from any school. So that's the limitation you're seeing on these ones. And you get to pick 2 cantrips. Or if you want to select the Thief, you get Fast Hands, you gain an additional bonus action, and second story work. You've mastered the art of falling and gain resistance to falling damage. So I'm actually going to take Thief, just because Arcane Trickster gets a little bit more complicated, and I never take Thief, so it will be interesting to see how that works out for us. Right, with that done, we can select Gothic, and we can speak to, say, Astarion here.
Yes?
And we can say, I think it's better if you stay here in camp for a while.
Oh, darling, I'm hurt. I thought we had something special.
Please just stay here.
I guess I'll spend my evenings lounging here while you do all the hard work. It sounds awful.
He's a bit smug, isn't he? So, Gothic Lord has taken Bandit Key from Astarion using magic pockets. So, if Astarion has any particular quest items we might need, they get absorbed into our inventory. And you can see in the bottom left now, we only have 3 members of our party. If we wanted to, we could go adventuring with just the 3 of us. There's nothing wrong with being able to do that. But the encounters that you have will not scale in difficulty for the number of people present in your party. So do keep that in mind. But with Astarion out, we can get Gale in.
Go ahead. I'm listening.
Join me, why don't you? There's plenty of adventure to be had.
With pleasure. Lead on.
And so, Gale has now leveled up. So he's currently a level 1 wizard, but we can click the button. And this is his leveling up to level 2. So his hit points increase. We can change the spells he has prepared if we wish to. And you can see that we are here at level 2 selecting a School of Magic as a subclass. So we can pick Evocation. Evocation spells focus elemental energy into powerful attacks and enchantments. Those who specialize in this school are known as Evokers. Or Abjuration School. Abjuration spells summon wards, banish enemies, and nullify magic, suitable for those who wish to defend themselves and others. The Abjuration School gets the Arcane Ward. This is a thing that gives you extra hit points, or temporary hit points, when you cast Abjuration spells. there aren't very many of them in the game as we are at the moment. So there's Protect from Good and Evil and Mage Armor, which is not a great deal of them at the moment. So we're just going to take Evocation, and so wizards get a spell book with all of the spells they know. Then at the start of each day, they can select 5 spells from the spells that they know to cast that day. So at the moment, these are our known spells. They are in our spell book, and these are our prepared spells. But down here at the bottom, we have an option to add 2 spells to our spell book. So, what do we want to add to our spell book? Well, perhaps we'll take a magic missile, and how about also Tasha's hideous laughter. So now that we've done that, you can see that those spells are available for us to prepare each day. And with that done, we can accept. And of course, we can also put Gale up to level 3. So we've now gained an additional first level spell slot and our second level spell slots. And with that, we get to add 2 to our spellbook. So we can now select from the range of second level spells as well. So how about we take a Cloud of Daggers and something else. How about Dark Vision? Because Gale is a human, he cannot see in the dark. And then, as ever, we can choose which spells we're going to take out adventuring with us. And that is Gale up to level 3. So, with that done for Gale...
Is that blood? No.
Go ahead. I'm listening.
I'd like you to stay in camp for a while.
I question the wisdom of that decision, but so be it.
Perhaps we'll travel together a bit later.
I'll be here in the meantime, idling away the hours.
And then lastly, we can go over and see Will.
To ask.
Salutations.
I'd like you to join me.
Ah, that's the spirit.
So there is Will's pair of levels. So from first level to second level, we don't get to pick his patron. That is set for us, I believe. If we look back here at his character sheet at level 1, we can see that he is of the Fiend. You've made a pact with a fiend from the lower planes of existence, a being whose aims are evil, even though you strive against those aims. So, that is the patron that Will follows, but we can still choose other aspects of his life up to 3rd level, and 4th beyond that. So, we get our Warlock spell slot. Warlock spell slots work a little differently than other spellcasters in general. But first, we should look at Eldritch Invocations. These are a pool of kind of mini feats that you can gain. And these can have all kinds of repercussions, whether that's adding our Charisma modifier to our Eldritch Blast damage, to being able to cast Mage Armor on ourselves, being able to speak with animals, or gain proficiency with Deception and Persuasion. You can see in normal and dark. You can see normally in darkness, both magical and non-magical, to a distance of 80 feet. Will, being a human, does not currently have dark vision. Fiendish Vigor. You can cast False Life on yourself at will, as if a 1st level spell, without expending a spell slot, False Life grants you 5 temporary hit points. Mask of Many Faces lets you cast Disguise Self at will. Repelling Blast, when you hit a creature with Eldritch Blast, you can push the creature up to 15 feet away from you. And Thief of the 5 Fates. Once per long rest, you can cast Bane using a Warlock spell slot. So, what do we want to pick for will today? How about a Repelling Blast and an Agonizing Blast, so we can hit enemies with our Eldritch Blast and push them off cliffs and ledges and all kinds of fun stuff. For replacement spells, we currently know Armor of Agathis. A Spectral Frost covers you, gain 5 temporary hit points and deal 5 cold damage to any creature that hits you with a melee attack. And Arms of Hadar. Call forth tendrils of dark energy. Targets take 2d6 necrotic damage and cannot take reactions. Range of 10 feet. So we'll keep those. And then we get to pick one more spell to learn from this list. Hellish Rebuke. The next time you take damage in your reaction, to use your reaction to surround your attacker in hellish flames that deal 2d10 damage. And Hex. Curse a creature. It takes additional 1d6 necrotic damage whenever you hit it with an attack. The creature also has disadvantage on ability checks for one of your choosing. So Hex is the classic Warlock spell, so we will take that as well. So that is everything for will at this stage. But then, of course, we can go up to 3rd level as well. So maximum hit points per level goes up to 24. Our Warlock spell slots have become, rather than 1st level, 2nd level spells. Pact Boon. So we have to pick Pact of the Chain. It's the only one available to us. But with this, we can cast Find Familiar and select an Imp or a Quasit, as well as all of the standard creatures. And we get to learn 1 extra spell, and this can come from the 2nd level pool of spells, rather than just the 1st level. And what do we want to take here? I think Misty Step sounds like an interesting enough choice. And we can replace one of the earlier spells if we wish to, but we'll keep that Warlocky goodness. So that's everything for will up to level 3. And now at any point we can chop and change which 4 members of the party we have with us to carry on our adventuring. But for now, that's going to be all. I hope you've enjoyed this tour of leveling up to 3 with all 5 of the companions and a sorcerer. If you have any questions about anything that you've seen here, do let me know down in the comments below. Otherwise, I will say thank you ever so much for watching. If you enjoyed the series, please do consider subscribing or hitting that like button. If you have any questions or comments, otherwise you can put them down below. Otherwise, I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.